Hello, in today's episode, I'm going to give you 3 thoughts from Jeremiah 23, 5 through 8. Jeremiah 23, 5 through 8 says, "Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, and he shall reign as king, and deal wisely, and shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In his days Judah will be saved, and Israel will dwell securely. And this is the name by which he will be called. The Lord is our righteousness." You won't be able to tell by what I just read, but that passage of scripture comes amidst a whole lot of gloom and doom, where Jeremiah is prophesying about the destruction of Judah. He's saying again and again, because of these wicked kings that you have had, because they've led you astray, the entire nation is going to be destroyed. You're going to be taken up and into exile. But for just a brief moment, there's some encouragement, because although the wicked kings that had led Israel into idolatry had caused absolute devastation upon them, a new king is coming, and this new king won't do any of those things. So here are 3 thoughts from Jeremiah 23, 5 through 8. Thought number 1. The Lord will send a king. The kings of Israel and Judah were a mixed bag at best. Oftentimes there would be a good king with subsequent wicked kings, one after the other, until it gets to the point where the Lord no longer wants to deal with Israel and their wicked kings. So he sends up the Assyrians to attack Israel, and he sends up the Babylonians to attack Judah, because the kings had led the people in wickedness. But the Lord will send a new king, and this new king will be different from the ones that they had had before. Thought number 2, the king will be wise, just, and righteous. So there's going to be a comparison between the kings that the people were used to and this new king that the Lord is sending. The new king the Lord sends will be wise where those other kings were foolish. He will be just when those other kings were unjust. And he will be righteous where those other kings were wicked. This new king is going to take all of those positive thoughts that Israel has about David and is going to realize them all. This great king, whom the Lord will send, will be a king not like David was in actuality, but like David was in the minds of all the people. He's going to be a king who is wise and just and righteous. And this great king whom the Lord sends is Jesus. Thought number 3, the Lord redeems his people. So the prophecies up to this point have all been, guess what? The enemies are coming. The Lord has rejected you. You are about to be thrown out of the land. But even though you will be sent into exile for 70 years in a place you don't want to be, the Lord will redeem his people. They will only be there for a short time. They will only be there for a generation or 2 before the Lord brings them back and restores the nation of Israel. But even as this happens, the restoration of the nation of Israel doesn't really feel like that much of a restoration, because the temple that they rebuild is not as glorious as the previous one. The nation that they have is still under the thumb of foreign rulers. So the restoration of Israel, the redemption of Israel, is ultimately fulfilled in Jesus Christ, that great king whom the Lord is sending, who is wise and just and righteous. Those 3 thoughts come to you from today's reading, Jeremiah 22 through 26. If you'd like to read through the Bible with me, join the Facebook group Through the Bible, and we can read through the text of Scripture together.